Hello everyone, welcome back to Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice. We're here. We need to hear a recap of the testimony. We are talking to Brushel. Let's get this over with and done.
If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over.
Apollo, what's he talking about? The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have a reason or means to poison him. I guess that's true. The thing is with this guy now, is maybe I was a little hard on him before. I feel like, I don't know. I'm not like hating on this dude because he's ugly or anything, because there's a lot of ugly people in this series that I like. His mannerisms, though, and the way he speaks, something about it is just super off to me. But at the same time, I feel like this dude's telling the truth, or at least the truth as he sees it. Or he thinks that he sees it. Like, I don't feel like he's outwardly lying. That's the part that's confusing me. But, you know, with his wacky movements and, like, all his weird... it's hard to, like, keep that in mind that he's telling the truth because it's just so off-putting and distracting. As long as there are no other suspects. Then the killer had to be Vera. That's what... Yeah, this is bad. Having only one witness like this and nothing else, this is kind of putting us in a bad situation. This next testimony is our last chance.
Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please.
If it doesn't veer off from what he said before, then I'm gonna have to assume that he's, like, thinks or is telling the truth. Alright, the interview, a recap. Let's pay close attention to this and see what he says.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant.
Okay, I think I believe that.
It was Vera who poured the coffee. She's admitted as much herself.
Alright.
The only thing that touched Drew's lips during that interview was the mug.
Okay.
And nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing.
Okay.
Clearly the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter.
Oh, shoot. Okay, think.
A nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for a doubt.
That is true, I'll give him that. Maybe it's his teeth that are, like, really freaking me out. I have a thing about teeth. Maybe not teeth per se, but when someone has really red gums like that to me, that's like frightening. Like, his face looks like something I would see in Five Nights at Freddy's, which is probably why he scares me so bad.
Oh, you really think so?
I'm sure this guy means well, but like I said, something about it is just... I feel like they purposely did this to distract you. From the fact that he's actually telling you the truth. There's something's going on here that's weird. I don't know.
I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination.
Oh shit, okay, we're gonna have to just press everything and hope. I still have one trump card left to play. Do we? I have to look carefully. And I won't let this trial end until I use it. Okay, let's press everything and see where it leads. Whew, okay. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. Now, I believe this, but I'm still pressing it all. But that doesn't prove that Vera poisoned it. What, darling? How many times have we heard that one, Forehead? The poison reached its victim via the coffee mug. And from where did that coffee come, eh? I guess. Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in?
I'm on it. You need a horse beat?
I'm your man. No, don't do that. Leave the horses alone. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She's admitted as much herself. Still tell me about it, though. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee?
Of course I didn't witness it when she came in with the tray. The coffee was already poured and steaming.
Alright, so at least we've got that. He didn't see the coffee being made.
Let us not forget the defendant has admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statement. I poured, I served, and I killed.
What? How come this is the first time we're hearing of it, though? What?
That last part was just a little joke.
Oh, fuck! God damn it! This is no time for jokes. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with the coffee mug. Probably not. I need to find another weak spot in the case. Alright. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was the mug. I'm still gonna go for it. I still need to see what it says. You're sure about that?
Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time.
You really like that mint, eh?
One of those candies might have been poisoned. I mean, he's not wrong. Yet, at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. Alright. It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. I am. I'm gonna try until it's hopeless. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee?
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have proof...
Possibility is there, I can feel it, but I can't prove it, not yet. No, I don't think we have anything for that. Possibility isn't gonna cut it, not now. Mr. Misham ingested the poison via route other than the coffee. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. It can't be proven. I do believe our little forehead is growing up. Pity, we like the rash, useful forehead best. I know you like young guys, don't worry about it. I didn't tell anybody. Another hole in the case and he's plugging before I can prove anything. Speaking of that...
Oh, yeah, that's later.
But first things first, I better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike in. Which makes me think, okay? So there's a hint right there. That statement wasn't the right one to press now, but I bet you it's going to be later. He's saying he needs to first uncover a weak spot, so let's remember that statement and come back to it. That's probably what that means.
On with the cross-examination.
How many more statements do we have? 1 or 2? Nothing left the studio after he died. Nothing. I think this is the last one. So something's got to be here. Not one thing? You're sure?
Yep, sure as sure can be.
Well, with one exception. Well, okay, then that's not being sure, is it? Come on now. I know you're trying to be honest here, maybe, but like, just give it to me straight here, boy.
One exception? What?
Journalist Spock Brushel does interview, leaves studio, end quote. Oh, you left. I see what you're saying.
Come on. It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still,
No. It was not funny. Did something leave the studio that night? Okay, here we go. Maybe. He had a way in and out of the studio to send things, right? It was a letterbox. Could that come into play? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Well, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's the only thing we have.
Now that we've proven a witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night?
I think Yup. I'm gonna try it. It's all we've got. I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. Oh, okay. I think I know what to do.
By which you mean? Something other than our witness?
Of course. Don't tell me. Vera Misham? No. I'm not playing that same card. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional.
Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice.
Show me what you got! Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. It's the letterbox, isn't it? But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. It's gotta be, because didn't they say it was gone? It's empty. Oh, okay. I'm doing it. God help me. This is the only link between that studio and the outside world.
A letterbox?
What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter.
Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true.
Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. That's right, okay. So I am on the right track here.
Ah.
But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night the yellow envelope disappeared. So, okay. So I was worried about that because I couldn't tell if the yellow envelope, red envelope thing was a mix-up or if he was telling the truth, which he seemed to keep telling us that he was. So it is gone. That's the thing that left. Ah yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime? Of course, this changes nothing. What do you mean? Huh?
He has a point, Mr. Justice.
What do you mean, though? Something did leave.
What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared?
Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me.
Very well. The witness will add this to his testimony.
Okay.
You got it.
I still think this fails to change anything at her forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. Alright, what's this gonna say? A letter was put in the post in the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Letter was put in the post in the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you were hiding that fact from us.
Yeah, well, actually...
I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared. But, Herr Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right, how he was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brushell's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now. I'm starting to think. Let's keep thinking, Apollo. I need to think here. Clearly the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. Hang on a minute now. I'm not going to present actually something here, but I want to think. The other thing that had the poison on it was this, right? The tiny frame. This and the mug is the only thing that actually has physical poison on it, right? It's got something to do with this. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I'm gonna press this because I want to see what he says here, and hopefully it'll let me go around again. You say clearly as though it were obvious. But this claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture.
Yeah, well, you see, in my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous things sound right. A bad habit, I know.
It kinda is.
Yeah, well, actually, I guess this is more a case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote. The court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture. Understood loud and clear.
If only I could believe that. What do you think, Apollo? Everything he's saying seems so... not flawed. Well, that's kind of what you want from a testimony, really. I need to keep my eye on what matters. How and why was Drew Misham killed? Vera poured the coffee. That's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find what did and prove it. It's got to be something that has to do with the frame. The only other person... Okay, so now we've got this going around again. What was the statement that I pressed that I didn't have the thing for yet? I think it was the third one. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She's admitted it much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during that interview was the mug. I might have say that he didn't put his mouth to the frame, though. It seems weird. Letter was put in the post in the studio, but I hardly think that matters. I'm gonna press this again and see if anything changes. You're sure about that?
Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling...
Okay, so this is the same. He was busy eating mint candies. One of the candies might have been poisoned. They said they found no traces of mint anywhere. It was a long shot anyway. We're still trying to prove that he was poisoned in another manner. Do you think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? I'm not sure how the frame comes into that because he didn't eat it. If you have some proof. The possibility is there, I can feel it, just maybe not prove it. Not yet. Possibility isn't gonna cut it, not now. How did he ingest it, though? That's the thing. The only other thing we have is the frame. Should I try it? This could be a game over. I don't want to, like, fuck it up. Alright, let's try it. Proof is possible. Here goes nothing. Yeah, play it for me, Sam, as my demise happens, because I'm gonna sip my coffee. Oh my god, that's good. You do understand what we need, yeah? Proof, Herr Forehead, not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. Oh. Is that a euphemism? I'm gonna turn it into one anyway. Even if it's not obvious. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. Oh, here we go. Hey, wait a minute now. Okay, I think I might have something here then. If we're gonna tie it into the envelope, then I think I've got this. Maybe? Maybe.
I thought I'm writing a letter, I did. Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume.
Of course, which means that envelope had a stamp on it.
A stamp, ah.
As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp. Oh my god! Oh my god, I understand! The frame! Remember how small it was? No one worth talking actually licks stamps in this day and age. What do you mean? I do. Do you guys lick stamps? Put it in the comments if you do. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Wow, that was curt. Okay, so he licked the stamp, but wait. How does that explain the atropine on the rim of the coffee mug? If he had it on his mouth, I suppose. If he licked the back of a poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if you put the coffee mug to his mouth? Okay, so we were thinking about it the wrong way. It's actually reversed. We thought it actually started with the mug, but it ended there, maybe. Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing, it was the other way around.
What?
The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Misham. Mr. Misham poisoned the coffee mug himself. I see what he's saying, but are they gonna fall for that?
Order, order! But that doesn't... does it?
Recall, if you would. Atropine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on the envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to the cup of joe. Was the stamp in the frame? It has to be, right? Why would there be a frame so small otherwise? That's what I'm thinking. Did we do it? Oh, even he's writing something down. He agrees. What you got? Your nose is twitching.
You have something to add, Mr. Brushel?
Uh-oh. His nose is picking up another scent.
As I believe I mentioned earlier. That's the thing, see, after he put his letter in the envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. A stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote.
I can't believe I totally glossed over that fact.
But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one.
He must have had a stamp, like maybe a special one in that tiny frame.
Maybe he just run out?
Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps, not a single one. It's gotta be the frame, it has to be.
That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison?
Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. But how? Okay, even if the stamp was in the frame, which we're trying to prove right now, how was it poisoned and why? And how long had it been sitting there? Like, that part we don't have yet, I don't think. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place. Yes, that I can prove, I think.
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of the poison stamp?
It's gotta be the frame. It has to be. I was sitting there mulling it over on why a 2-inch by 2-inch frame even existed. And there's the poison which the stamp was stuck to. Look. Possibly part of, like, the adhesive. Alright, we're doing it.
Well, that certainly is a cute little frame. And by little, I mean really little.
It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection. So what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. Burn. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important.
Missing something?
Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Atropine residue. What? Why wasn't I told about this? Haha, wrecked. This frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe 1 inch wide at the most. You aren't saying. I can't believe I glossed this over and didn't even think about it. Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps?
Order, order! The poison stamp was in the frame?
You hit that wall. It ain't gonna change nothing. Impossible.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck. Oh, he mad.
You know, can I say something? I had a thought, see?
What, Mr. Brushel? And please stop jittering around like that.
The victim was a forger, right? There is a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too, end quote.
So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him. Which, yes, rock out. It ain't gonna change your fate, though.
Oh. Oh, Rich. That's Rich.
He doesn't believe it at all. He's mad. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gaviner's song lyrics, please.
Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon? Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths?
No one. That's what we're trying to find out.
Oh, I disagree. Come again?
Oh, is that a euphemism? You know what? Yes. Yes, it is.
Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle.
Drew Mitchum hid from the world he avoided meetings. Yeah, as a forger, I could definitely see why. He probably made a ton of enemies, too.
His only contact with the outside world was the mail.
The mail?
Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew read letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon.
Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence that this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon.
I might not have evidence, per se, but things are finally starting to come together.
What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling.
I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know, too. I think I know how Mr. Mitchum was killed.
Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice.
A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I think I know what it is, too. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Mitchum the stamp of death. If I'm right about this, it's this. It has to be. It has to be, though, right?
Isn't this the envelope? The one from 7 years ago?
Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. Yeah, see, it says the enclosed stamp. It was in there the whole time. Please use the enclosed stamp. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor.
Oh. In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison on the stamp, lick, lick, end quote.
Now, what if we had done exactly as the letter asked?
He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox.
15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. And the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Oh my god, but who the hell set that up? Obviously not his daughter. I mean, it's clear now that she had nothing to do with it.
Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system.
This is unreal. Holy shit. Come on now. Yes. Slay. Such a splendid imagination you have, Heiferhead. What do you mean? It makes perfect sense, bro. What you gonna say against it?
Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside the envelope from 7 years ago? Yeah? Is that what you'd like to have us believe? Really?
What's wrong?
Well,
it is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility.
Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poison stamp in this envelope? A stamp that then became the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence? I don't know.
Well...
Oh, it was 7 years ago and we don't even know who sent the letter.
And your answer is silence, I see. Very well, I move to... Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Who's that? It's not nice to pick on the Fraulein, Clavier. Who is that? Oh my god! Emma's here too! Wait, why is he here?
Isn't he supposed to be in jail? Hi, Emma. How you doing, girl?
Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression? Did I sound like him?
This fucking game trolling me. At first we thought it was him. I was like, wait, how did this motherfucker get out of jail? Emma, you troll. It was great. Don't quit your day job. Whatever, Apollo, you thought it was him too. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fräulein Detective?
Someone had to come dig you all out of the mess you're making of this case.
Mess?
You know, none of this would happen if you just trusted in science a little more. You can find out if that stamp was in the envelope. Easy.
Oh, maybe she's gonna, use the spray or something. I don't think we did that. Care to explain yourself, Fräulein Detective?
Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right?
That's right. The poison detection spray. Yeah, I don't think we used it on the envelope before.
Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court.
Alright, here we go. Be careful, though, if it's got poison. Alright, spray it. I'm just gonna spray it everywhere. Oh, look. Yes! There it is.
Well, would you look at that?
No mistaking it. That's atrocanine residue.
Oh, girl, look at your back shot. Damn, you got that swagger, though.
I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past? Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs as last.
Somebody knew. Somebody was hoping that this would be a thing. But why now? None of this makes sense. Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? Well,
there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Mission figured it out.
Figured what out?
He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. So he sent his reply with a different stamp.
And put his decisive evidence in a frame?
but then why did he use it? Did he forget?
You're still here? Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spock, Razortooth Brushel, claim this scoop is mine.
Oh, come on, dude. We're in the middle of shit here.
Drew Misham killed in cold blood by sender of 7-year-old letter, end quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay, end quote.
Oh, for goodness sake, we're trying to figure this out here, bro. Who cares about your story?
Order, order. I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit, this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years.
I'm surprised the poison was actually viable that long, but I guess we're not questioning that part of it?
Stamp is a ticket straight to afterlife, end quote.
Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
Yeah, no kidding. I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Apollo! I think we just won. Oh, sorry, I thought that was Trucy. Might be.
Very well. The court finds the defendant.
Objection! What? Yo! Come on, man. Don't even start. Is this the bright future of our legal system?
Prosecutor Gavin?
A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago? Tickets for Gavinier's shows are invalid after 2 weeks.
But it doesn't make sense any other way.
It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Air Forehead's claim. What is it now? A contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in the envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did? Emma explained that. He must have realized it was poisoned. No, he's saying why did he use it? That's probably what he's getting at. Therein lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Misham sensed the trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs the question. Why 7 years later did he use the stamp on the night of the murder? Oh, surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Misham simply forgot. I don't know. That's what I was going with. I mean, he's a little old. He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? Well, I'm about to spring a trap on your ass. Oh no, I guess he's not wrong about this part. Shit. Alright. Well, now what do we do?
While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap.
I guess. Shoot, I really thought we were onto something there.
It had been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
Apollo?
I don't think we're winning anymore.
We never are. Oh, I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now.
Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you.
Don't act so cool. Just because you hot don't mean shit.
Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in the envelope?
The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us?
I see no proof that such a thing ever existed. What do you mean? There was poison in the envelope. You saw it and it was a stamped shape. What you talking about, boy? It was right in front of you. What about the atrocanine residue? Oh, I agree. That does seem to be atrocanine residue. But, her forehead, it's certainly no stamp.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, but even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Misham never would have used it. That is all.
Oh, this is bad, though. Well, I thought we were onto something here.
I believe we've come to a conclusion again.
Apollo, were we wrong the whole time?
I don't know. I don't think we were, though.
I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be coincidence.
There's no way that it is.
I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice?
Yes, Your Honor?
Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Misham received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atrocanine on the document inside the envelope. A similar trace was also found at the crime scene. On this tiny picture frame, the defenses indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope. An envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it.
Yes, but even this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame. He never would have used it.
I'm afraid you're right. Which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case.
I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. The traces of atrocanine, the envelope, the frame. And Drew Misham's mysterious death? They're all connected somehow. I agree with you, Apollo, they have to be.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us?
The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake.
Oh no, of course!
Ah, a fake clue? Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable. Yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than...
The fake clue. Think about this. Wait a minute!
Oh my god!
The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand.
Hang on to this, you guys. I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Objection!
Oh my god, I think I see where this is going. Congratulations, you've completely lost me. I bet that happens a lot. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger? It makes a good story, I'll give you that.
Apollo, I think I see where you're going with this. The fake clue, fakes, forgeries.
Ah,
I know that face. That's the I just had an idea face.
I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? Come again? I will, later. Wait, what? 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why?
That's what I want to know.
Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Here we are again. The victim was a fake? Oh my god, Apollo, I can't believe this. One forger smelled the trap, one forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers and one of them was a fake. Dun 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 dun. Wheel of Fortune time! Yes! I would like to buy a vowel. Oh, here we frickin' go.
Order, I can't believe this. You know what? I wouldn't even have come to this conclusion if the game hadn't prompted me to think about it. Jesus Christ. So you're telling us that Drew Misham, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? Oh my, did you guys just hear me slap my face? Ow. Oh, I got this now. I'm on it. I've got this. You better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo.
I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us who was the real Drew Misham was.
I know who the forger is. If Drew Misham wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person. Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Misham was himself a forgery. The real forger oh my god. No freaking way. Boom! There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Misham is none other than his only daughter, Vera Misham. Oh, I think so. Oh, wow.
Order! Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you.
I kind of agree. I mean, Vera, a forger?
Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in the studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in the trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger.
Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense.
One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew's and Vera's. What you gonna say, boy? Nothing? If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera Misham. Well? What you gonna say? Yes! Play it again, Sam. Fascinating. He likes it. You on my side now, girl. Uh-oh. Well, this is gonna be bad, though.
Vera Misham?
Is she gonna talk?
You've been paying attention to the trial so far?
Uh-oh. Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who was the forger, Drew Misham? Oh no! Oh dear. Uh-oh. Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Fräuleins, believe me. Though they usually talk to me too. Tell us, were you the one who forged the works of art? Were you? Oh, what's she writing?
Yes.
She said it. Just like that.
So the forger Drew Misham was you?
You can do it, girl.
Yes, it was me.
Give him an emoji. Oh no, it's crying.
What?
Oh, she's so cute. Damn, girl, you got a booty. You do squats? The court was in an uproar and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute reset. God, yes, I need a break too. I did not expect this. Where the fuck is this going? Oh, it's a simple case to test the juror system. My Aunt Fanny it is. Alright, fine. So in the next one, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm assuming we're still gonna be in court or not. I'm assuming yes, though. So, I'll see you guys then. Oh, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Bye-bye.